Hello again. My wife Huang Rei is an automotive journalist, and so as a result, she gets invited to a lot of really swanky events all over China, from her from luxury car manufacturers that she reports on. One of them being Porsche. And so this was an event we went to in the wintertime that is sort of indicative of what these events look like. And so I've been to a lot of them. I'm always amazed by them, not because of the level of swankiness. Um, the level of swankiness is actually sort of amusing in a lot of ways for me. Reason being is actually in my youth, I was a car salesman and I worked in high-line luxury automobile sales. And so I know how new products are introduced in the United States to loyal customers and to dealers, and it's nothing like this. This is it's really something like out of Mad Men to me. And it speaks a lot to the socioeconomic situation in China today, which is one of the reasons I wanted to make this video. Um, in a lot of ways, China is similar to the 1950s in the US, where conspicuous consumption is the key to demonstrating to everyone that you've arrived, that you're successful. And so brand names like BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, they really feed into this idea. This is a country in which men buy Porsches not because they think they're beautiful cars and they're amazing machines, right? They buy Porsches because they believe that the Porsche says something about them. Now, do Americans do this? Sure, absolutely. But actually, if you see a guy driving around in a Porsche, chances are he cares about the car. He knows about the car. He's spent some time and effort learning to drive the car. And in China, that's usually not the case. China is the only place in the world where I've ever seen a Ferrari Testarossa sitting on the street in Beijing. Obviously, it had been parked on the street for like 4 or 5 days. I mean, that's just outrageous. Nobody buys a Ferrari and treats it like that in anywhere else in the world except for China. But the reason for this, of course, is this conspicuous consumption. You have to have the Ferrari if you've got the income to afford it. So this particular event was to introduce the Porsche Cayenne, the new Cayenne. What's really interesting, I didn't actually record the speech given by the two German engineers that showed up. I should have, but I didn't. They pointed out, which is amazing, is that China is Porsche's biggest market in terms of volume of sales. Right, that's something to keep in the back of your mind. That Porsche is selling more cars in China than they're selling in Europe and in the United States. So, this is a big market for them, and they spend a lot of money on these events in terms of entertainment, in terms of choreography, getting these really high-profile folks, two engineers from Germany and the head of Porsche in China to come and talk. This guy in the suit, he's actually just a musician, foreign musician. I think he was Italian. And so he's just here admiring the cars. Although very often they have beautiful spokesmodels, handsome spokesmodels at these events as well. And the other thing they have at this event is just lavish food. It is wonderfully catered. I just like going to these things just to sort of people watch. So I'm going to let you people watch here in this video. We'll start off with some of the entertainment, and then we'll move on to the reception. And you can see some classic cars and some new Porsche Cayennes, if that's what you're into. All right. So without further ado, let's move on to the entertainment portion of the program.
下面有请保时捷中国代理总裁及首席执行官洪生女士上台致辞。
尊敬的来宾们，大家晚上好。
So after the entertainment, we get the usual marketing talk. Now, these events are geared primarily towards owners of Porsches or intenders, as we say, people who intend to buy a Porsche. And so in the US, typically even Highline cars, they will invite previous customers to come to these sorts of events, usually at dealerships. They're usually much more informal. Sometimes they have some like ride and drive events for valued customers. New cars are launched, if they're not launched at an auto show, they're usually launched with a press release. The idea of doing this again, it's sort of old-fashioned, but it really, really works in China. Customers feel really valued that they've been invited, to these exclusive events. My wife's role here is she's essentially invited as a member of the press, and she's an industry reporter. So she doesn't talk about how the car drives and all that stuff. She primarily talks about the industry and the placement of the car, within the market or whatever the case may be in her articles. So after this woman, who's the looks like the vice president, president of the current president of operations for Porsche in China, they have this, what I thought was the most impressive thing, and I filmed the entire show. This is Chengdu's new convention center in the south of town, and it's just a giant venue. And so they really used the venue here to its fullest extent, I think. And so go ahead and sit back and watch this presentation and just think about how much money it costs to do something like this.
在成都，我们与你一同分享全新保时捷凯宴。 先生们，全新保时捷开宴。女士。
Pretty impressive, I think. So following the show, the laser light show, and the cars driving around inside, there is a reception. The folks who catered this event had about 5 or 6 stations opened up with all sorts of really good food, real fusion cuisine too. I should have taken pictures of it. I just neglected to. But Asian and European cuisine sort of mingled together. A lot of caviar, a lot of expensive dishes, and of course they have some cars for people to look at here. The German engineers are sort of mingling in the crowd, maybe talking to VIPs. But again, most of these folks are just regular owners who've been invited to this event. And I think it really serves to blow them away and make them feel like, yes, I've made the right decision in buying a Porsche, or I'm going to make the right decision if I buy it. Look how much this company takes care of me. And so, to me, as a student of anthropology, it's interesting to see um, what motivates people to buy something in this branding, this sense of belonging. BMW doesn't have to do something like this in Germany or America, and the primary reason they don't need to do it, Porsche either, is that the brand has already been established, and sort of what that car says about you. We already know, it's the ultimate driving machine for BMW, right? Porsche, there is no substitute. We know the tagline; it's sort of tattooed on our forehead. And so in China, they're still making that brand, and they're doing it in this just outlandish way that is it's borderline comical for me. And you may not see it that way. You may say, wow, that's really cool, but that's fine. I mean, having been around luxury automobiles for a long time, to me, this seems somewhat comical in terms of the extravagance, sort of the conspicuous extravagance of saying, like, yes, you are making the decision to buy a Porsche. You're joining an exclusive club. The marketing brochures at Porsche dealerships still say that, but they don't show it to you. They don't need to show it to you. So again, interesting. Just look at some images here of the cars and the reception, a few short videos. But yeah, there you go. This is marketing in China to the members of the upper middle class, the people who are really in a lot of ways going to be the economic future of China. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and a little look into the lifestyles of the rich in China, if not famous. So if you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know, and I can make sure I bring my camera to other events like it. And please hit the subscribe button and enjoy some other videos. Thanks very much.